Okay, so we came back, got it cut, figured out. It was pretty close, actually, the template did this, but I've decided to glue this fiber mat down with a little liquid nails. Just seemed like a good idea to me. Trimming it in, I'll be moving it around and stuff. So basically, oops, too far. Just gooping it around. And troweling it in. Doesn't have to be 100%. I think where my feet are, I'll pay attention. Anyway, now that's a little better. And you're probably thinking, why don't I just get a long enough piece of 2x4 or something? Well, the way lumber has been going on, my scrap pile is like diminished. And so I'll be making some lengths, it looks like, for this, but I'll think of another way to get this bigger one there. I'll go buy some lumber or do this, but using the fence to hold it, it's being by myself, working out okay. We're gonna get this one bolted up or drilled for a little bit and go from there. Here it is, Saturday morning. I gotta go to work here in a little bit, but I decided to replace my first cutout because it was so rough, we'll say it. And you can see I got a little more creative holding it in, but then not all of us have all the tools available that I got here around the shop. But anyway, we're gonna try to glue one in and see how it goes, but I like it. I think I'm gonna paint them black. So I don't know if you can see, but this is how far I was off on this corner, but I think it's the only one. And so I'm doing it with a regular cutoff wheel, and it beats it up pretty good, but I think I'll be able to sand it and make it clean. It's better than trying to take it off, because if I get it all bolted up now, and then I could drill it and do it and pop it up and caulk it in. But I'm hoping the rest does it. But now I know on the last one, well, on the big one anyway, I gotta watch where I mark them and cut the line off instead of leaving the line when I mark it, when I use the window as a template. I guess because it's curved and I roll it onto a flat piece of metal, it grows a little bit. Here we go. So we got the face going on of the garage, and so we have two edges that aren't parallel to each other. And how I've always done this in the past is first, find your center mark. There's a trick to that too, but I'll show that later. And then you're gonna measure to each side, and it's 34 3/4. And then, oops, you're gonna come up square, because remember, you can't use a level. And then you're gonna measure from both sides to your edge and mark that. And then we're gonna transfer it to the piece of plywood and cut it. There we go. So here's the transfer. Here's my center line that I marked on there. And then you measure your bottom measurement on the floor, which was 34 3/4. And then this side was 34 3/4 also. And then don't forget to cut it to height. And this was 23 3/4, so a 1/4 inch over. This top was 38 3/8, and this was 35. So not much of an angle on that, but always tighter the better. This works really good when you got to do countertops in kitchens with the drywall's all messed up and going, and it's always nice just to, you know, test your skills on how tight you can get stuff when you're putting it together. So here we go. This is, I got one of the guns, and now I got two because I left one in Vegas. Didn't think I was gonna get this far, be out here this long, and try that. So we're gonna see what one can goes, how we can stuff it in them holes, see if we can fill them gaps and figure it out here where the solar array is gonna go, the battery and the MPPT and all the other stuff that goes with solar that I still need to figure out. But we're gonna see how this little gun works. Supposedly you can leave it in there and or not, but I got the cleanup stuff too, so we'll try to go through it. So the phone went dead, and then I got this going down, and then the foam seemed to go a long way, but it's gonna be like a 2 or 3 application because that hole's totally filled, and then the outside dries, and then the inside doesn't. So I pushed it all in and tucked it, so I don't know how good a job it was in those. I might have to Swiss cheese the cavities over here a little more to get it going, and I did buy the big gap stuff, so we'll see. But I'm gonna put up a 1/2 board, there it is, and stuff some more foam and some pieces of this 1/2 inch in there, and I'm thinking this is gonna be pretty good. So here we go. A little more, 9 holes instead of 4. We're gonna tuck that in, and we're gonna do 9 holes instead of 4. Let's start over, and then we're gonna do a little bit at a time, and then play around with doing something else, getting the ledger in. I think that's the key. The foam, you just gotta go nice and slow. And we shall see. We'll fill that one on a light load and wait 10 minutes and see what's going on. Can number 2 coming up. Been kind of like a no video day. It's a lot of work, but here I figured out a double slide. I got it, and that's how it's going to end up being. Just a little more insulation, of course. Then I'll figure out about over the wheel wells. And this one too. I'm gonna start stuffing that with insulation and come on slick. But my idea is that the 1/2 inch plywood is gonna be a good base for all those lower cabinets, because that's gonna be cabinets, seats, whatever. All the water's going there. They got the showers going there. I need a solid thing base, and then but that's finished because it'll all be buried in the cabinets. And then above, done, I will do something a little bit different. Figure out where I'm going to put some portholes or whatever in there, and then I kind of figured out how I'm going to do this insulation on there, but that'll be a different one. That one, my brain's still working on it, but I wanted to get all the lower in so I could build all the bases, because that's going to be height for the bases. Once I do that, I could bring the sink up a solid base, and that'll be a drawer bank. The height from here up. It's going to add one more piece of ply. Perhaps I might be able to piece it, I don't know. But I know I'm going to have a solid base for the bottom cabinets and all the attachments. All the stuff is going to get rattled and shit driving. You know, I want something very sturdy. But we'll see. So it's been a little while. I've traveled back to Vegas to do some work and then brought some stuff back to California that I had taken to Vegas to work on the van out there, but now I've had to switch up. But yeah, I'm doing the bottom panels before I do the bulkhead and the shower floor in here. But I was just gonna show you how I get rough patterns. I'll take my board and I'll make straight lines. You know, these are 2 inches apart because it's rough. If I really wanted to follow a contour really well, I'd make inch lengths across, and then I mark them on the piece that it's buttoned up to, or a line anywhere else, and then I'll measure down each one of those, mark it on there, and then trace it by hand. And you get pretty close. Once you do that, you can scribe it in. I mean, this stuff's all gonna be buried. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It's got to be tight in the insulation. And the way I'm figuring this out is for ease of this lower section of cabinets. Because what I decided to do is use that as my base for my cabinets, because water storage, pump, shower, water heater, I hope, all gonna go down there. And then be below this level, and then I'll stack it up to my counter height and make these drawers and inlet for the sink stove combo, of course. So we're gonna see how that works, but right now getting the base in to have some real security for my lower framing, which I'm gonna be using this, I'm thinking, with the lightest plywood I can get on it, 3/8 for weight, and maybe a skin, I don't know, but I'll show you what I come up with after I do my little measuring line trick. More later.